Hello, manga and anime lovers. I'm Branch, and today I'm going to be talking about Days with My Stepsister, Episode 1. Now, hold on, I know what you're thinking about with that title. Anime and stepsisters do not have a very good combinations. There are too many jokes out there. But I swear, trust me, this is a wonderful show. I remember reading this manga a while back. I believe it's actually originally a light novel, and the manga is actually really brief. I noticed there was a lot of skipping around. So I thought it was like an advertisement for another product, probably like a light novel or something like that. But what was there, I really enjoyed. I loved the characters. I loved everything. So when I saw that it was getting an adaptation, I instantly made up my mind to watch it. So I guess let's just get right started. First, just the animation. The animation is great. It is super fluid, really expressive while also being not expressive at the same time, and not too detailed, but detailed enough that it doesn't look like they skimped on effort, I guess you could say, even though I don't want to say that because the animation industry is overworked as a whole. A lot of character acting, a lot of subtle movements, especially at the end, when the sister went to go to turn off the lights. That was my favorite scene, but I'll get to that. Also, the art style is really good. Like I said, not too detailed, but just detailed enough. And it seems like so many other anime, while also being just different enough that it has its own unique style. It's not super realistic and it's not super cartoony at the same time. It's like in between. But I think the biggest thing, and this has to do with the rest of the aspects too, is that the art style, the animation in this show is just so relaxing. And I think this is mostly due to the characters and the pacing. So first, the pacing. It's pretty slow. A lot of people I saw on Crunchyroll comments before they were removed were complaining about the slow pacing. I didn't see any of that. To me, yes, the pacing is slow, but this isn't like Toei One Piece or Season 4 Demon Slayer, where there's nothing going on. There's always something happening in this episode. Even though it's not exciting or anything, if you pay attention, you can see the characters thinking and how they interact and how they're changing. I really like that. It seems like everything has a methodical reason for being there, and I really appreciate that. But really, the highlight of this episode is the characters. I'm seeing this with the Russian girl anime too, which I won't be reviewing because I'm watching it on my own. But that one too, the characters, especially the dialogue, is really good. Same here. They're not cutouts. You can instantly see that there's more to them than meets the eye when you hear them say anything. Like, for example, the main guy, I'll remember the names after a few episodes, but the main guy, he has this normal, friendly, laid-back attitude, but the sister calls him out on it after they meet, saying that he doesn't have to put up a front for her because she doesn't plan on forcing anything. And I thought that was really good. And then the guy instantly, he doesn't become a whole new person, right? He's not putting on a mask. It's like putting on makeup. He's putting makeup on his personality, more or less. And so he drops that when she says it. He's like, oh my goodness, that's such a relief. I didn't want to have to, work hard to expect anything. And I guess, I mean, I've talked about him a lot, but the sister too, she's really good. The two siblings are actually very similar, but they're also different at the same time. Like the brother is very relaxed and he doesn't like getting into, I don't want to say trouble, but he doesn't like possibility of trouble. Whereas the girl is very no nonsense. She's not mean, but she's the type of person that you can tell will not put up with any BS. Like she instantly tells her stepbrother that, cut the formalities around me. Let's not put on airs basically and hope for any sort of relationship. Now, I guess the main elephant in the room is that this is a romance anime and the two main characters are step siblings. So, while it's not as bad as some other anime with incestuous themes, I don't really appreciate this. I didn't realize this going into it because the manga didn't have anything like that. I mean, it didn't go very far, so that's probably why. But reading between the lines, I think this is going to be a step-sibling romance anime, which I'm like, whatever. But it's so good right now that I don't really care. We'll see how the execution keeps up. But these two people, regardless, they have to get into a closer relationship before any romance happens. And I really liked how that is happening this episode. I think the catalyst for all this is actually the dad, who I'm going to talk about real quick before I get into the main meat of the episode. He's very dad-like. That's the only word I can think to describe him. He's trying his best. He's pretty awkward, but he's putting his effort into trying to make a relationship between his two families that are becoming one. And I really like that, especially the scene at the end where he's trying to make a good impression on everyone, pretending to clean the house. I found that very nice. But now to the main meat and potatoes of the episode, which is these two step siblings getting closer together. And I just liked it a whole lot. I've already talked about most of it, but I especially like how they're being very matter of fact with everything. And I think this is really, in this situation, is the best approach to take because you don't know each other yet, and you don't want to assume anything or expect anything. You want to try and suss each other out first, right? So that's what they're doing. They're being very methodical. They're being very upfront and open because they're like, okay, we don't know if we like each other, and I don't mean that way, but we don't know if we can tolerate each other, but we want to try and live together for the sake of our parents. And I think the epitome of this, and one of the scenes that make the show so good, there's two of them. One is the scene where the brother accidentally finds a bra when he's helping his sister unpack. One thing I really appreciate that is that it was not made into a joke of any kind. It was just a funny thing that happened, and no one really minded at all. So that tells me that all these characters, there's not going to be any stupid, blushing stuff happening or something because, oh no, I saw a girl's underwear or whatever, stupid stuff like that. But also, it just seems everyone's so chill, and yet, despite all the relaxingness in this episode, there is a tense undertone because these characters, their world is changing. The brother, he's getting a new family basically, and he's trying to roll with it, and he's trying to do the best he can. He's a lot like his dad in that area. He's trying to be a good brother and a good son, and he's trying to ride this out as smooth as he can. Whereas a sister, even more so, she's in a super strange house. She doesn't know the rules. She doesn't have any expectations. She has been alone her entire life because her mom works during the day or during the night. You can tell by the way she acts, by the way she's surprised when someone comes home. And even the brother, too. He's surprised that he gets to say, I'm home. He's not used to it when he comes home from school, and the sister is there. The scene that exemplifies this the most is the very last scene where the sister takes her shower and then leaves and then realizes she forgot to turn off the light and then spends forever trying to find where the light is, turning on different lights. And I can say this is 100% something that I have done before when I'm staying at someone else's house. And even though it shouldn't be, right? Like, you can tell whether a light switch is on or off unless they're not labeled, which some are not. But it's just instinct. You're so used to your own home that you have a hard time finding the most simplest of things. And I just think this episode did a banger job of showing that. So I'm just really looking forward to watching the next episode. I think it might have even come out right now as I'm talking. So I'm going to go watch it as soon as possible. And I hope to see you in another video. Bye.